this shit is starting to get fucking hilarious. So, while I was in the process of making this video you about to watch, a story came out that Eddie Hearn is trying to sign Deontay Wilder to Matchroom Sport. Now, I talk a little bit about Deontay Wilder's team in this video. Pretty much, I talk about how Lou DiBella, Al Heyman, Shelly Finkel, and the rest of them cats ain't really done shit to boost Deontay Wilder's popularity, right? At first, Golden Boy failed. Deontay Wilder left Golden Boy to go to Al Heyman and PBC and Lou DiBella, and then they failed to boost this guy's popularity to the point where he should be more popular than what he really is. Now, of course, you know, you got the racism. You've got the guys that only like certain boxers within the sport. They don't respect the sport as a whole. But at the same time, you still got to look at Deontay Wilder's team. You know what I'm saying? They're not omitted from any, you know, blame in that situation. So I'm all for Deontay Wilder signing with Matchroom, especially since Hearn said if he signs with him now, he can arrange for a fight with Anthony Joshua by Christmas. That's a hell of a deal. But one thing that hasn't been said, at least I haven't read about it, was the stipulation. There's always a catch. And I think that catch is he's going to want Deontay Wilder to fight Dillian Whyte. In my opinion, that's easy money. But Wilder really is not trying to look for that fight. He wants to pass Dillian Whyte, go straight to Anthony Joshua, which, I mean, if I was him, I would too. But still, in this situation, man, since Dillian Whyte is such an easy fucking matchup, right? You got a shit-ass team to that you're with right now, and he's guaranteeing you the Joshua matchup at the end of this year. Man, you better take that fucking deal, man. That's a no-brainer for me, dog. What's good? It's your boy 2K here. Shout out to the movement and everybody who's moving with us. Also, man, special shout out to my man C-Bone, aka Boxing's Boomhauer, and everybody in the movement, of course. But he spit out a couple of good articles dealing with the whole Deontay Wilder declining going to Cardiff to help SkySports cover the unification bout between Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker happening this weekend, right? Now, he declined it on the basis of the fact that Eddie Hearn was against allowing him to enter the ring and create some type of WWE spectacle if Anthony Joshua were to beat Joseph Parker, which the majority of us feel is going to happen, right? Now, creating this WWE spectacle is something that's happened throughout boxing history. You know what I'm saying? Fucking 40, 50, 60 years ago all the way to today, you got cats entering the ring, creating a WWE spectacle. Gennady Golovkin did it with Canelo, and that was actually orchestrated by Golden Boy and K2 when Canelo beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., right? You know, you had Sean Porter just recently do it after Danny Garcia knocked out Brandon Rios. Creating that spectacle is something that's used to build fights, right? Obviously, right? It don't take a motherfucking rocket scientist to figure that shit out. Now, looking at this whole situation, it's easy for me to split it right down the middle. I can understand where both sides are coming from, but at the same time, I got enough ammunition to criticize both sides, right? I'm gonna give y'all motherfuckers a little disclaimer about me. I've had a lot of new subscribers, listeners, viewers, etc. since the last time I gave this disclaimer. For you cats that have been following my channel since the beginning, all the way back when I used to have a co-host, right? What has always been my motto for this channel, right? This channel is unbiased. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be my favorite fighter. If you fucking up, I will not hesitate to get in that ass. No homo, right? But at the same time, I also won't hesitate to praise fighters from anywhere if they're good. You see what I'm saying? Man, I like fighters from all over the fucking globe. Jerwin and Kajas out in the Philippines, right? My man Sarisakis Rungvisai in Thailand. My man Knockout CP Freshmart in Thailand. You know, Josh Kelly is one of my favorite prospects out in the UK. I like fighters from any fucking where. And I have no problem talking about any fighters because I'm a fan of the sport first. I'm not a fan of fighters, I'm a fan of the sport, right? So with that said, you'll never hear me say, hey dog, I'm team this guy. Nah, because I support boxing as a whole. See, there's a difference between giving attention to fighters and saying, I like what this guy does. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between doing that and saying, oh, I'm team this guy. You know, saying you team somebody is equivalent to my man that was in the interlude on Jay-Z's first album, Reasonable Doubt. I can't remember what fucking song it was prior to, but on the interlude, he was like, some crab ass nigga, man. He was like, hey, man, I'm rolling with Rockefeller, man, because they got money, man. Yo, 2K is not that type of nigga, man. Real talk. Look, man, I'm team nobody. Unless Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua start putting 2K on their fucking payroll, I'm team nobody, right? If one of these two guys starts writing my checks, that's the only time you'll hear me say I'm team Joshua or I'm team Wilder, right? But until then, these motherfuckers is not putting food on my back, clothes on my table, they're not paying my fucking mortgage, none of that shit. So I'm team nobody. I have no fucking allegiance to none of these cats. I have an allegiance to boxing, and that's it. So with that said, it's easy for me to keep my opinions objective, which is exactly how I'm supposed to keep it while I run this channel and I help run my own website, right? Now for you cats that listen in, my subscribers and all that, it's okay for you guys to be subjective. You know, it's okay for you to have certain opinions about certain fighters based on your emotions and feelings and shit like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Actually, I welcome it because it makes good conversation on the channel and in the chat, right? But especially if you don't cover the sport, there's nothing wrong with it. But y'all gotta respect the fact that I gotta be objective because I cover two different media outlets on here and on my website. So I gotta split it down the middle. So if you come here wanting to hear me take a side, that shit ain't gonna happen. Real talk. So basically, man, Eddie Hearn comes out and says, you know, he's not gonna allow Deontay Wilder to come over here, create that WWE spectacle, create that controversy that he wants to create, you know what I'm saying, and by getting in the ring, because he states that the BBBFC, the British Boxing Board of Control, they don't allow for people to enter the ring and create that type of controversy. Now, I'm not sure, but as my memory serves me at this point in time, I don't remember anybody getting in the ring over in the UK to create some type of WWE spectacle. You know what I'm saying? Now, I could say in recent memory, you know, Vladimir Klitschko got in the ring after Anthony Joshua knocked out Eric Molina or some motherfucker, whoever the fuck he beat, but in order to get the Klitschko fight. You know, Vladimir got in the ring and it was, you know, it was on some what the UK calls classy shit, you know what I'm saying? But for us over here in the States, the shit was goofy and corny. You know, two goofy looking motherfuckers in the ring, you know what I'm saying, talking about they the best of friends and playing Ring Around the Rosie while they tell the crowd, yeah, we're gonna have a great fight, guys. You know what I'm saying? That shit's corny in the US. You know what I mean? But they allowed it over in the UK because they knew it was gonna be something that it wasn't gonna breed any controversy. You see what I'm saying? What Deontay Wilder wants to do when he gets over there, he wants to do what he's been doing on Twitter, right? He wants to do what he's been doing after his fights. And the British don't get down like that. Over here, we create controversy because it caters to the intrigue of the fans. That's the type of shit we like. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that keeps us interested and wanting to see certain matchups. You know what I'm saying? But in the UK, they don't get down like that. So Eddie Hearn is not going to allow that shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is the thing. Deontay Wilder has come out since this and said, yo, I'm not going to Cardiff, you know, because they won't let me get in the ring. But in addition to that, he's saying, man, they went and got, you know, extra security. They talking about putting a restraining order on me and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? The shit is pussy. It is, right? And we've already seen in the past that Anthony Joshua is a bit weary about getting in the ring with Deontay Wilder. There's no question about that. Hell, when this whole matchup had been talked about, and it was heavily being talked about, in the midst of that, Anthony Joshua releases statements talking about he understands that one day he probably will lose a fight. You know, look, man, I'm not saying that he said it because of the whole Deontay Wilder matchup was heating up at that time, but I'm saying it's just a coincidence that he decides to release that kind of statement while we're talking about him possibly fighting Deontay Wilder in the near future, right? So it's clear that Anthony Joshua was weary about Deontay Wilder, and he should be, right? Deontay Wilder should be weary about getting in the ring with Anthony Joshua, and he probably is, right? Also, Eddie Hearn, there's no question that he's weary about his top guy getting in the ring with Deontay Wilder. Listen, this is business, people, when it comes to Eddie Hearn. Anthony Joshua is his top fighter, right? So he's going to try to make as much money as he can with his top fighter before taking the major risk. This is the same shit that Oscar De La Hoya was doing with Canelo, and it's the reason why they didn't make the Triple G fight right away, right? Shit, it's the same thing K2 was doing with Triple G when he fought 172 fucking bums before he actually got in the ring with Daniel Jacobs, right? This is business. You got a top fighter who's making you money. You're not gonna try to take that risk in the middle of you trying to get as much money as you can out of that top guy, right? You've seen this with Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo. This is why the GGG fight didn't happen for so long, because Oscar De La Hoya wanted to make the most money he could out of his top fighter. That's why you had him fighting Alfredo Angulo, James Kirkland, Liam Smith. You know what I'm saying? That's why he didn't want to make the Erislandy Lara fight, because that fight was too risky. You see what I'm saying? They try to make the most money out of their top guy. As the fans have their attention on that top guy to the point where it's like, it don't matter who he fights, as long as he goes out there and gives a good show, the fans will always support him. As long as they have that kind of attention on their top guy, they're not trying to take no fucking risk at that moment. That's what Eddie Hearn is doing. This is business 101, people. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, he don't want to make the Deontay Wilder fight right now. As a media cat, I understand it's business. But as a fan, it's pussy on Anthony Joshua's part, because he's allowing the business side of the sport to get in between his money and his legacy. For you dumb motherfuckers that don't know what I'm talking about, what I'm saying is he's allowing Eddie Hearn to delay his quest to be the only true champion at heavyweight, a la undisputed. Now, also, this motherfucker Eddie Hearn had the nerve. Yo, so Dillian White is going to be in attendance. And the reason why he's going to be in attendance at the fight is because he's just going to be another candidate along with Alexander Povetkin and Jarrell Miller to help delay the quest for undisputed status at heavyweight by possibly being the next opponent for Anthony Joshua should he defeat Joseph Parker, right? This motherfucker Eddie Hearn had the nerve to say that Deontay Wilder is probably not going over there so he can avoid a confrontation with fucking Dillian White? Nigga. Yo, that shit is complete and utter bullshit, man. As I said before, dog, Dillian White is a clown, a racer top head ass nigga. Ain't nobody scared of fucking Dillian White. Nobody. I can't find a nigga to be scared of Dillian fucking White. Did y'all see after he knocked out Lucas Brown what happened? I'll put the link in the description. He knocks out Dillian White, and in celebration, this nigga kicks the ropes and nearly falls to the fucking ground. The nigga almost got knocked out by the goddamn ropes. How the fuck can you be scared of a goofy ass nigga like that? Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? But this is where I criticize Deontay Wilder. Because Eddie Hearn did invite him to the UK, right? And he did say, yo, you know, you gonna work with SkySports and all that shit, you gonna be in attendance. This was Deontay Wilder's chance to get the attention of the people abroad. You don't have to get in the fucking ring in order to promote a fight, dog. Matter of fact, this is what Deontay Wilder could have done. You know what I'm saying? You on the goddamn Sky Sports broadcast, dog. You could have been hating on Anthony Joshua the whole time. You know what I'm saying? You could have been you know, giving your opinion, but you could have made it to where, yeah, you know, you see how Anthony Joshua just made that movement? I could do a half pivot, shoot my straight right hand, knock him the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Could have said something like that. You could have created some ridiculous shit on air to where the British fans are like, you know what? I'm tired of this American Deontay Wilder motherfucker. I want the fight. And what that does is it creates this buildup to where fans are like, all right, Anthony Joshua's the hero, Deontay Wilder's the villain, let's make the fucking fight. And you got a whole bunch of people, not just in the UK, but in America and all over, who are watching this shit, whether they're streaming it or they're watching it on television, right? They see this persona that you're trying to embrace, this villain persona, and they will feed into that. And they will ask for the fight to see you lose. That's what you want, dog. All publicity is good publicity, whether it's negative or positive. All publicity is good publicity, dog. Listen, since Deontay Wilder has been trolling on Twitter, trolling on other different social media outlets, right? Trolling at the end of his fights, you know, rhyming and shit. This shit is goofy as fuck. It sounds stupid, but it's still good for boxing because we know why he's doing it. We tolerate it because he's trying to get the best fight that could possibly be made at heavyweight. That's why he's doing that shit. You know, I'll knock you out in 8, don't be late. Goofy shit, right? But he's doing it because he's trying to get the best fight that could be made at heavyweight. So we tolerate it, right? But the reason why he's doing this shit is because he has embraced the villain role. He understands, right, that he has to do what Floyd Mayweather was successful at doing in order to be as popular as he wants to be, right? I'm also getting ready to criticize his team. I told y'all before, man, Deontay Wilder's team is not doing their job, man. And he came out and said that this decision was a team decision of not going to Cardiff, right? But at the end of the day, he had the final decision, okay? Listen, man, Deontay Wilder's team should have been like, dude, you gotta go. You have an opportunity to still be able to create controversy, you know, from the sidelines. You don't have to be in the ring. You know, you could do what you did with Luis Ortiz when Luis Ortiz beat that big, hairy, Bigfoot looking motherfucker before he got the Deontay Wilder fight, right? And Luis Ortiz is in the ring and Wilder's ringside and they yelling back and forth. And then, of course, Wilder gets in the ring. But the thing is, he didn't need to get in the ring in order to have the fans intrigued. We were already intrigued just seeing them two go at it with Wilder on ringside. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, if you get the mic and you're able to talk over a loudspeaker in front of all these fucking fans that are in the arena, of course that helps promote it, but it's not the main thing. It's not the end all to be all. Like, if you can't do that, nothing else matters. Not at all, fam. You could do that. You could have done the same thing that happened with the whole Luis Ortiz promotion, right? And believe, fans at that point in time before Wilder even got in the ring, they're like, damn, make this fight. You know what I'm saying? I want to see this shit. Wilder really ain't fought that many cats. Luis Ortiz is a respectable fighter. Look what he just did to that bum. Man, let's make that fight, right? Fans was already intrigued. So you can do that in Cardiff. Eddie Hearn is not saying, he's not saying you can't do that. He actually said you can do that. So you can create that same controversy, just not being in the ring. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. You know, Al Heyman, Lou DiBella, and the rest of his team, the other manager he has, the Jewish cat, I can't think of his fucking name, but they should have been on top of this shit. You are able to garner attention from two different fan bases. You got the UK fan base and you got the American fan base. And then when you got motherfuckers streaming from all over the world, you got fan bases from every other place, right? If you're going to embrace the villain role, which is exactly what he's been doing since wanting to try to get the Anthony Joshua fight, then you have to do it 100%. You see what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather, once he inserted himself as the villain, he kept going with it and made it to where so many people hated Floyd Mayweather that they bought his pay-per-view events just to see him lose. That's the type of publicity you fucking want, dog, especially if you're gonna embrace the villain role. And this is a perfect opportunity for you to be able to embrace the villain role, dog. And it's another thing. You got the entire UK media out there. You'll be out there before the fight, before those two fighters get in the ring. You're going to be in Cardiff, okay? You could have been doing a whole motherfucking UK tour. You know, you could have been on some Shannon Briggs shit, right? When Shannon Briggs was trolling the fuck out of David Haye, what happened? Motherfuckers from all over the UK and America, they were like, yo, I want to see Shannon Briggs fight David Haye. This is a 40-plus-year-old gray beard having motherfucker that has already been exposed in his career, right? He's already lost fights in dramatic fashion in his career before, but he pretty much breathed new life into his career with this let's go champ shit and trolling motherfuckers, right? Embracing somewhat of the villain role, and kind of in Shannon Briggs' case, a lot of motherfuckers, they put him in the hero role. He's not the heel. You know what I'm saying? I think he is with the majority of boxing fans, but some, he's not really the heel, right? But when he trolled David Haye, and it was the press conference, that fight with that European cat, I don't remember the fuck it was, but David Haye beat the fuck out of him, right? It was before the Tony Bellew fight. I think this was like 2016, 2015. David Haye ended up saying, all right, bruh, you can fight on my undercard, and we'll fight in October of this year if you end up winning your fight. Well, Shannon Briggs said, cool. Went on the undercard, knocked that bum out like in the second fucking round, and continued to say, let's go, champ. Well, then David Haye ended up reneging on that promise. And what happened? Everybody started to support Shannon Briggs, right? Shannon Briggs even bought a fucking house over in the UK so he can troll their fucking fighters. He was trolling David Haye and Tyson Fury from the UK. Just trolling the fuck out these dudes. Now, in his case, it hasn't really worked for him because Shannon Briggs, at the end of the day, when you negotiate, you got to bring something to the table, right? Not only did Shannon Briggs bring somewhat of a risk because he has been knocking out like 17 bums, you know what I'm saying, in recent memory. But you got to bring something to the table. You got to bring popularity, right? And you got to have some type of negotiation leverage. See, Deontay Wilder, if he can do what Shannon Briggs is doing to Anthony Joshua, he doesn't necessarily have to go to the UK and buy a fucking house. But Eddie Hearn inviting him to the UK, that gave him the opportunity to troll the fuck out of Anthony Joshua in the British media, right? And he would have had much more success because he actually has a fucking title, right? He brings an undefeated record to the table. He brings the intrigue of his right hand being the great equalizer, right? He brings that whole dangerous persona that, damn, what if Anthony Joshua actually gets clipped by that right hand? We've seen him hurt and knocked down against Vladimir Klitschko. We've seen him hurt against Dillian White, right? But he brings that dangerous aura, like, damn, dog, what happens? That's negotiation leverage. When you're out there disrespecting their top fighter, what's gonna happen? Motherfuckers are gonna hate you. You see what I'm saying? Motherfuckers are gonna hate you. And in the process of them hating you, what are they gonna want? They're gonna want to see you lose. So they're going to ask for their champion to beat your motherfucking ass. Wilder, that's what you want, dog. And if you're using the whole UK media, you can easily be in there, like before the fight even happens, before these cats get in the ring, you could be all over the place, you know, doing all sorts of fucking interviews. Yeah, nigga, you know what I'm saying? This Deontay Wilder and this motherfucking nigga. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could get it. Man, I'm out here in the UK, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm looking at all these fine-ass women, you know what I'm saying? But shit, I can't even enjoy myself because every time, you know what I'm saying, I see a fine bitch, all I see is Anthony Joshua in this motherfucker. You can say stupid shit like that in the media. You already doing it on Twitter, right? But you can go to the UK in his hometown, on his soil. This is easy work. I don't understand why you would deny it the opportunity to create a build-up in so many different ways other than entering the ring, why you would deny it just because that one thing you're not allowed to do. It doesn't make sense to me, man. He is squandering his opportunity straight up and down. If Deontay Wilder really wants this fight, he will take every opportunity he is given to try to make these motherfuckers get into the fight. And going to Cardiff this weekend would have been a major push to get this fight made as soon as possible. A major push. Not being able to enter the ring, that's a small fucking issue, in my opinion, when you got the entire UK media. And understand, they're not going to cut the clips or anything. When Deontay Wilder, you know, he's talking to the UK media and he's rhyming, when he's doing that, the UK media is not going to chop and screw like motherfucking niggas from H-Town and shit. They're not going to do that to the clips. They're going to keep it the way it is because it's good publicity, it's good media, right? And they're going to push it all over the UK. And like I said, it's going to further push the villain persona that Deontay Wilder has already ingrained into his personality, right? As a boxer. So it just further helps his villain persona. And then the shit's going to circulate all over the world. It's not just going to be in the UK. But you got to look at shit logically, man. It was a bad move for Deontay Wilder. He's still got time, I believe, to change his mind. And hopefully he does change his mind. Hopefully he says, fuck it, I'm going to go over there because I can still create build-up for this fight. Now, in regards to Dillian Whyte, I want to add this in here too because I've been talking about this shit. You know, that whole knockout of Lucas Brown was shit. Dillian Whyte looked like shit in that fight, right? He got Lucas Brown out of there. Kudos to Dillian Whyte for knocking out a motherfucking drug cheat, a PED user. Anytime we can get these motherfuckers out of the sport, hey, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to him. But at the end of the day, Dillian Whyte does not have the skill set to beat Deontay Wilder, right? But the British fans are backing Dillian Whyte 100%. And also, Eddie Hearn has came out and said that he's increased the amount of money that he's giving Deontay Wilder. Whether that's true or not, I haven't heard anything from Deontay Wilder stating that Eddie Hearn didn't increase the money. Before it was $4 million. Eddie Hearn didn't disclose how much extra he's increased it. This offer to fight Dillian Whyte. But the first offer was $4 million. He's saying he's gone above that since, right? If that is indeed the case, and then you've got all these motherfuckers supporting Dillian Whyte now, I think Deontay Wilder should go get that scalp. And it's not even a question for me. It's easy money, easy work. You got you capture the fan base of two different countries. America, who's gonna support you, the American fan base that actually loves the sport of boxing and is not either racist or they're not going against the fighters just because they hate them for whatever reason, right? But the ones that actually support boxing as a whole, they're gonna support you here in America. And then if you go over there and knock out Dillian Whyte, whether they hate you or love you in the UK, they're gonna support it. They're gonna support you as far as fighting Anthony Joshua because you went over there and showed them on their soil that you could beat one of their top heavyweights. You see what I'm saying? You went over there and showed them on their soil, right, that you can beat one of the guys that they support in beating you at this moment in time. Man, it's simple mathematics to me. You know what I'm saying? It makes perfect sense. I've always said, man, Deontay Wilder's team is fucking up real bad. Lou DiBella, Al Heyman, while I support both of those guys, normally, when it comes to Deontay Wilder and how his popularity has not been able to increase, he's 40-0 with 39 knockouts, and he's still not as popular as he should be. Of course, I blame a lot of the American fans for wanting to back Eastern Europeans over in-house fighters, right? I blame the American fans for that, but at the same time, you gotta blame his team too because they're not really promoting him the way that he should. Deontay Wilder goes out there and tries to promote himself. I don't see Lou DiBella out there promoting Deontay Wilder the way that he should be. Hell, before the Luis Ortiz fight, that fight wasn't even promoted the way that it should have been. That was a major fight, and it was a major fight for Deontay Wilder's career. It was the most difficult fight in Deontay Wilder's career, and that includes the fight that allowed him to become WBC champion against Bermane Stiverne, right? The Luis Ortiz fight was a much more difficult matchup. So Lou DiBella and Al Heyman and PBC, all of them, his entire team, they should have been promoting the fuck out of this fight. Hey y'all, the world, everybody, we want everybody to know that my guy is getting ready to fight one of the top heavyweights in the division, right? The general consensus, the boxing public, right? Real boxing pundits, in terms of skill, they rate Luis Ortiz as the best heavyweight today, right? And even if you don't rate him as the best heavyweight today, he is a top 4 heavyweight in the division. Watch how my guy Deontay Wilder goes out there and dismantles this man. That's how you promote your guy. And you go on all the TV shows you can go on, right? You make all the billboards and the flyers and shit that you can in your area, and you push this shit. You do as many interviews with boxing media as you can, right? You get as many articles written about the situation as you can. That's how you push your fucking fighter. And Lou DiBella, PBC, Al Heyman, all them cats that are a part of Deontay Wilder's team, his other manager, I can't think of the guy's name. I forgot his name, but he's a white guy. He's a Jewish guy, right? All of them are failing when it comes to promoting Deontay Wilder and getting his popularity higher than what it is. 40-0 with 39 knockouts. This motherfucker should be mad popular right now. At least more popular than, you know, the racists and the people who support only boxers and not boxing as a whole would allow him to be, right? I don't know, man. Like I said, going to Cardiff would have been a major push. Like I said, he's got time to change his mind. Hopefully he ends up going to Cardiff, you know what I'm saying, covering the fight, creating a big spectacle like Shannon Briggs did. When David Haye, he wanted to fight David Haye, right? He went to David Haye's press conference with that one cat, can't remember the white dude he fought, but he went to his press conference, let's go champ, let's go champ. And what happened? From the UK all the way over to America, motherfuckers hopped on the let's go champ train. You know what I'm saying? Shannon Briggs has created, you know, this whole major, this popular entity out of himself, and he's a 40-year-old man, 40-plus-year-old man. And he's created enough intrigue where people wanted to see Shannon Briggs fight David Haye. And what happened? David Haye said, yeah, you can fight on my undercard. Shannon Briggs ended up knocking the guy out in the first or the second round. And he said, David Haye said, if you fight on my undercard and win, we'll fight that October. I think it was 2016 he said this, or 2015, right? Shannon Briggs knocks the motherfucker out in the first, second round. David Haye reneges on that statement. What did Shannon Briggs do? Let's go, champ. Trolling David Haye all over the UK. The motherfucker bought a house in the UK so he could troll UK fighters. You know what I'm saying? So he should have done, he didn't have to go to lengths of buying a fucking crib in the UK. But Deontay Wilder should be doing what Shannon Briggs was doing to David Haye and Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko, right? If you want to embrace the villain persona, you gotta go 100%, dog. Real talk. Get these scary ass niggas, force them into a corner where it's like, damn, everybody sees how much of a bitch I really am. I gotta get in the ring with him now. That's what you want to force, dog. So hopefully he goes over there, changes his mind, goes over there this weekend, covers the fight, and creates as much publicity as he can for himself. Because that shit will help him in the long run twofold. You know what I'm saying? Also, I hope he tries to get a Dillian Whyte fight next. I hope he does. Knock his ass out, bro. You know, they were talking about Dominic Breazeale, but Dominic Breazeale is currently right now getting ready to go to a purse bid to fight Kubrat Pulev next. Right? But Deontay Wilder was eyeing Dominic Breazeale. Shit, they created the publicity for that whack-ass fight. You know, Dominic Breazeale getting into it with Deontay Wilder's brother, and Deontay Wilder, you know, trying to punk Dominic Breazeale in front of his family, you know, his wife and his kids and shit. You know, the spectacle has been created for that fight. And they were pushing it, trying to make it. So just go over to the UK and create the same kind of fucking spectacle. If you can't catch Anthony Joshua in the ring, then catch the nigga outside the ring. You know, create a spectacle with Dillian Whyte. You know what I'm saying? Go over there and be the worst villain you can be. Be sinister in that motherfucker. Right? Be Armageddon. Be Venom, nigga. Fuck. Be Carnage. Be the worst villain you can be. That will give you the publicity that you're looking for. Damn, man. It's easy work, man. It's easy to understand this shit, man. I know Cat's gonna be mad at this video, man, but like I said, I bring logics. This is real talk, man. YouTube, do what you do in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the situation, man. Should Deontay Wilder change his mind and go over there and create a spectacle to be able to further embrace the villain role to get the UK fans to want to see this fight only to see him get knocked out. It's the same situation that Floyd Mayweather was doing. You know, Floyd Mayweather embraced the villain role, made it to where so many people hated him that they actually bought his pay-per-view events just to see him lose. Negative publicity is also good publicity for your career. Deontay Wilder, should he embrace that? Do what you do in the comment section. Be real. This is real talk for real fans. One.